Hey guys, how's it going? So today we are going to be testing out, or reviewing should I say, this tiny little GPS unit called a Beeline. It is the original one. I've had it for a few years now. I bought it with my own money. Recently my other half bought me the new one, so I need to actually get that out of the box and give it a go. But before I do that, I wanted to just do a little review of someone who's used this for a few years and has gone on rather long journeys with it, all the way from London in the UK to Trieste in Italy, pretty much only using this. Talk about that later. So this is quite cool. You've got the little bike that swivels up and down. You've got the time does change. It knows when it's British summertime, it just automatically changes. I don't know whether that's because it's connected to the phone and the phone knows the time and that's where it's getting it from. I've got 57% of battery, so we're all good. Right, let's plonk that on. So I'm going to click on fun, but it's taking us through a fairly main route. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely ignore it and then force it to take a different route. Press go, and that now is on. So it's pretty quick at figuring out that you are not going the way it told you to go, and as long as you've got internet on your phone, it will automatically figure it out and show you a new way. So at this point it didn't really know that it was a roundabout, it just knew that you had to turn left. So sometimes it doesn't know about roundabouts, or it doesn't think about them, I don't know. But you do need to be careful. I almost went straight through a roundabout without giving way once because I just didn't see the tiny little sign that said that there was a roundabout, and the Beeline didn't mention there was a roundabout coming up, and suddenly I came round the corner and there was a fucking roundabout. So this can be an issue with the Beeline when you have a road closed, no through road, then it doesn't know that. That happened when we were in Austria trying to go over the one of the passes into Italy, and the road was shut and the Beeline was like, nah, you gotta go that way. It kept trying to take us that way. In the end we ended up having to pay the tolls and take the motorway, which really pissed me off because it was a lot of money for very few miles. If I'd had a slightly bigger map on Google Maps, I would have been able to see that there was an alternative route. But hey, you live and learn. So using the Beeline is good if you have time on your side. You don't have to be anywhere fast. You can take your time, you can get lost, it's alright. But if you do need to be somewhere on time, then you got to use Waze or Google Maps or one of the other sat navs. So yeah, you can see I've got it in kilometers rather than miles, even though I'm in the UK. Reason being, I understand what 100 meters is compared to 100 yards. I found it really difficult when it was in miles, so in kilometers it just kind of makes more sense to me. But you can change that in the settings, it's really easy. You do it on the app. So it's telling me that I've got 2.8 kilometers to go, and at that point I'm gonna have to turn right. You can see that from the little dot, that one there. So there's a few things I don't particularly like about the Beeline. One of the things is it doesn't tell you what the speed limit is, but to be fair, I mean, it's a tiny little screen, so where the hell would you put that? You don't want to put too much information on the screen, because otherwise it just becomes cluttered and you won't be able to read anything. It won't make sense. I understand why they haven't put it, but it is annoying, especially when you're going down roads that you're not familiar with, and perhaps you were concentrating on something else and you didn't happen to see the speed limit sign. I do find that when I'm in the car, I rely on the big sat-nav thing to tell me what the speed limit is, which is quite useful. There is sometimes a tiny little bit of delay in the arrow pointing, and that can be difficult when you're navigating a junction where you might have to turn right and then immediately left. And I think that on the new one they've fixed that issue, which is quite good, because at one point we were between France and Germany and I wasn't quite sure which lane I needed to be in, and then it turned out that the lane I was in was going to the right, which I thought we were going to, and then it actually went, I need you to go left, and at that point it was too late. We were both in the right hand lane, there were cars on the left hand lane, and we just had to go right. Luckily at that point the Beeline sorted itself out and rerouted us. So instead of going through Strasbourg, which was the intended route, we ended up going through a different part of France and then into Germany. So that was alright. I just really like the simplicity of the Beeline. It's so small, I can just easily take it off, put it in my pocket, walk away, and same again, take it out of my pocket, stick it on, and away we go. It's super small, it's super simple. So yeah, I really like the design. You just follow the arrow. Sometimes, however, because I haven't paid for the extra, the Beeline Plus, I don't have audio prompts, so I don't hear it when it says you're going to be turning left, you're going to be turning right. So it relies on me looking down and just looking at where it's telling me to go. And unfortunately sometimes that has meant that I've missed a turning. Okay, so I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to go down here because it's very pretty. I'm going to stop and put it into compass mode, and then we'll go get lost. Right, so I've now stuck it into compass mode. So you get the arrow pointing in the direction of where it is that you want to end up, and it gives you how far you are from there. So at the moment I am 15.3 kilometers away, and we are going in that direction. The closer we get, the smaller the number becomes, and then every now and then you'll see that number go up because you're going in the wrong direction. But compass mode is fantastic if you've got loads of time, you don't really know your way around a certain part, and you just want to try out some new roads maybe, or alternatively you do know your way around but you're always taking the same route. To try and find new ways, then stick it into compass mode, and then you're going to get there, but you don't know when, you don't know what route you're going to take, you don't know what it's going to be like, and it can be quite fun. So the app software that you use with the Beeline, you can actually use that without a Beeline, and you can, if you've got a little quad lock or RAM mount or whatever phone mount, you can stick your phone there and then just follow it as if you would Google Maps or Waze or whatever. It's exactly the same sort of thing, so you don't necessarily have to have the Beeline, I don't think. And the app, I think, is free. If you want the voice prompt, then I think you've got to pay for the Plus version, which I think is subscription based. If it was a pay once and that was it, I would have bought it already, but because it's subscription, I don't buy subscription things because you don't really use them enough, I find, to justify the cost every month. There's a few things about the app that I'm not too keen on. That is, occasionally it doesn't show you a fun way. When you go into the app and you say get me from A to B, it shows you two routes: a fun way, which is slow and more wiggly, and a fast way, which is a bit quicker, faster route, faster roads, not so wiggly. But occasionally, even though there are routes, but they perhaps go down roads like this maybe, it just doesn't put them on there, so you only get one route and it's fast, and that can be a little bit of a pain in the arse. So what I've tended to do at that point is add the waypoint. And one thing you need to watch out for when you add a waypoint is that if you're not very specific as to where the waypoint is, it just plonks it down on a road somewhere, and then it tells you to do a U-turn, which has happened to me a number of times until I learnt when you're setting the waypoint you can then move it around. It's a bit tricky, very fucking fiddly, but it's doable. Obviously when you put it into compass mode you don't need to put a waypoint. I've never tried putting a waypoint on compass mode. I don't think you can. I don't know. So the Beeline isn't for everyone. A lot of people don't like the simplicity of it. They just want more information, which on such a small screen you just can't really do. Although apparently on the new one they've addressed some of the issues, made it a slightly bigger screen. We'll find out when I finally get that out of the box and test it out. Can you tour with it? I did, you know, all the way to Italy and back. Got lost a few times, but it worked. One thing I'll say though is that we wanted to use specific routes. So you can go into Google Maps and create a GPX file. You might need to install an add-on to your browser which allows you to do it. Download the GPX file and then you can upload it to your phone and open it with Beeline. But it then has to be like you have to start from the point that you said you'd start from, I think, or not far from there. And you can't get lost. You can't accidentally take the wrong route, because at that point you're screwed. If you take the wrong route, then it doesn't know what to do. It really doesn't know what to do. It just keeps saying, do a U-turn, do a U-turn. And of course, if you're on a road where you can't do a U-turn, you're a bit screwed. So there are limitations in that. I'm not sure whether that's been fixed in the new one, but I have a feeling that that is the app itself and not the Beeline. But, you know, you can understand why it's like saying, yeah, you need to go back onto that route because you told me you wanted to use that route. So therefore you must use that route. So would I recommend the Beeline, the original Beeline? Yeah, I think so. It's really nice. It's super small, easy. It's not expensive at all. Now you can pick them up for really cheap. You can pick up second-hand ones as well. And it works. It works really well. You know, don't expect it to be like your TomTom, because that it isn't. And if you expect it to be like a TomTom or Waze, then you're looking at the wrong thing. It's a sleek design, it's super simple, easy, small, stick it in your pocket. Anyone can figure it out. I recommend it, definitely. So yeah, where I am at, grab this and ride, and in my pocket, and off I go.